The next command that I want to show you is the imprint command. Now, we've already touched upon the imprint command in CADD4. If you recall, the imprint command enabled you to divide a face into multiple faces. Nice thing again about the imprint command, not only in 3D modeling aspects, but also in rendering aspects, is that you can create or divide faces into multiple faces so that you can give a material or you could give multiple materials to the same object. So what I mean by this is, let's take a look at this cafe 3D drawing that we've been working on throughout this course. Alright, if you take a look at this side here, there's of course one face on here, right, on this side, and it's got brick all over it. Okay, what I want to be able to do is take a look here. I was able to put a different material, okay, underneath or at the base of this wall rather than brick. Maybe I want to put a different color brick or a stone perhaps. Alright, so in order to do that, what I would have to do is I could do three things. I could either slice this object along the this line here or along a plane here so that this object or the bottom will be a totally different entity than the top. Okay, I could have created these two entities entirely as different entities. So I could have created a wall that high and then above it create another wall. Now, because this wall's already been created, I don't want to have to generate another one. I don't want to slice it at all. So what we're going to do is, again, we're going to use the imprint command. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line along here, okay, a line along here, and then imprint it into the wall. That will enable us to divide this face of this brick into multiple faces. Okay, so we need to go ahead and draw a line across here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set my UCS. Alright, so I'm going to go to New, UCS, and I'm going to use my 3-point option. Okay, I want to make sure that I'm picking these proper points. So there's my origin. Okay, I'll zoom out, come over here. It's right above the floor. I want to pick above the floor. There's my x-axis, and then lastly I'll zoom up here to the top of the door. Here is my y-axis. Okay, so now I've just changed my UCS. You can see it there. It's right on the side of this. Okay, now next thing I need to do is I need to draw a line across here that is going to be used as my divider line, okay, so that I can create a different material at the bottom here. Alright, so I'm just going to put this for now. It doesn't matter at this time what layer I put it on. I'm going to put it on the 0 layer. I'm going to draw a line, and again, I could have measured this, okay, but I'm simply going to eyeball it for now. I'll use my nearest command. I'll simply pick a point there, and then I'll use perpendicular, and I'll pick a point there. Okay, so I've simply drawn a line across, and these are the two divisions. Now, keep in mind, if I pick right now, you can clearly see that this wall is one entity. Okay, so now the next thing I need to do is, after I got ahead and drew that object, okay, and I'm going to draw another one because eventually I might want to put, you can see here, there's a sign there. So I'm going to create a sign, let's say right here, and I might make it, let's see what size, I might make it at 4 feet, 3 feet. Okay, a 4 foot by 3 foot sign. Okay, something like that. Alright, now both of these you can see again, the areas inside them are not separated yet. I need to imprint. Okay, so under my solid modeling tab, or there's also under my home tab, under the solid editing, you can see there is an imprint command here, or if you go to solid, there is an imprint command. So I'm going to pick on that. First thing, if you look down at your command line, it says select first a 3D model. So here's the wall, right? So this is my 3D solid. Once I'm done selecting the 3D solid, you can see that it says select an object to imprint. So I'm going to start by selecting this line right here. It's going to say, do you want to delete the source object, which means, do you still want to have a line there, or you just created that line for the sole purpose of imprinting it onto the wall? Okay, it's the latter one. I just made that line for the sole purpose of imprinting it onto the wall. So therefore, I don't have a need, okay, to keep it. So I'm going to, it says delete the source object. I'm going to say yes. Now it says, is there anything else you want to imprint? And you can clearly see that that line has been now added to this surface. Okay, I'm going to imprint this. Okay, and it says delete the source. Yes. And you can see that now that has been imprinted. I'll press enter to exit, and you can clearly see that that is now part of this object, okay, of this wall, and now I can place a different material there. So I can go to render, material library. Okay, here's my, I'm going to minimize this for a second. Here's my material library. I can go down now to stone. Okay, I could choose a different stone, or maybe I'll go back to masonry. Okay, masonry stone. I maybe want to choose this one here. I'll drag it and drop it. And then if you recall, remember to drag and drop it. I want to be able to drag and drop it, okay, only onto this surface down here. Okay, so I'll press my control button, drag and drop it just to this surface down here, and you can now see that it is now a different material on the bottom as opposed to the brick. Alright, now this sign right here, I can create a new material there. Alright, I'm going to go to my create new generic material. Okay, I'll go to my material editor, and this one's going to be called sign, and I'm going to use an image. Okay, in lesson 3, I have this image right here. It's a Tim Hortons sign. I'll use that as my image. Okay, so there it is. I'll go to my texture editor. Okay, right here. Let's see if I can find it. Lost. There's my texture editor. And remember, this image was a 3, or this box was 3 foot by 4 foot. Okay, so I want to change that to 48 by 36. There it is. And I'm just going to simply, again, use this control button and drag it and drop it into that area there. Okay, I may have to change the positioning. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's try 24. That looks good. Okay, and then I'm going to move it up. Let's try 15. That might be too high. Let's try 10. Okay. Oh. Alright. And that looks pretty good. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Okay, so there you go. Alright, so again, using the imprint command will enable you to divide this face, which was once just one face. Alright, I can divide it now into multiple faces so that I can apply a different material to that specific face.